Hi, my name is Nancy Roberts, and I'm a career coach with Eller. I work with students that are going into sales, and we had some sales winners this past winter season. And I want to introduce you to Hannah Simons. She's a senior, and she participated in the Eller Suit Up Sales Challenge. So, Hannah, can you tell us how you prepared for the challenge?
Yeah, absolutely, Nancy. So I was very fortunate because I had a really great professor and a really great class that really helped me prepare for a challenge like this. This was my first time participating in the Eller Suit Up Sales Challenge. So I kind of didn't really have any idea of what I was getting into, but luckily, Jerry Cole Ross, my professor, he gave us about 2 weeks to really practice and understand what a sales pitch is supposed to look like. So I took very diligent notes, tried to understand my slides, and yeah, we practiced through role playing in class multiple times. And we also role played with some partners that we had in class. So I felt pretty prepared when I was going into the challenge.
Right. And so, what was the experience like for you?
Yeah, the experience, it was a crazy day to say the least. So I was scheduled to do my first pitch at 10:45 on a Friday. And as most people know, LR students don't have classes on Fridays, but I unfortunately had to go to work that day. So I just kind of went for participation in the beginning. I never really thought I would have any shot to win the competition. So I went in at 10:45. I was presented to AT&T and T and a couple other buyers, but the main buyer was an AT&T employee. I did a 20-minute sales pitch, which included all the elements I had learned in class. And then I got a lot of great feedback from the judges, and I felt pretty confident in my performance, but again, it wasn't graded. So I was like, well, great, I got my 100 points. I'm ready to go back to work. So I ended up going back to work, and then a couple hours later at 3, or I think right after, there's a networking event that I wasn't able to go to that I really wanted to, but I had work. And then right after the networking event, there's an award ceremony where the top 3 from the senior division and the lower classmen division are named, and then you go and do another sales pitch. I didn't go to that award ceremony because I didn't think I was going to win, as I had mentioned. So my phone started blowing up, and they were like, Hannah, where are you? Why aren't you coming back to the Zoom room? And I was like, what are you guys talking about? And they were like, Jerry just said your name. And I was like, oh no. So I had to go back to the Zoom room really quickly. And then Jerry's like, I was like, Jerry, I'm here. And he's like, oh, great. You're going to be doing another pitch in 5 minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I wasn't even wearing business casual. I had to really quickly put like an awkward dress over the shirt I was wearing. um, so he sent me a different case. Luckily, it was similar to the first case, but it was different enough to make me a little worried. I didn't have my notes the second time around, so I really was just going in with what I had experienced the first time. Same type of thing, different pitch with a different case. And yeah, I ended up somehow winning first place in the senior division after my second pitch. So that's kind of how my day went. It was a little crazy.
Wow. So, what did you think was the benefit of having this experience?
Yeah, there is a ton of benefits for me participating in the LR Suit Up Sales Challenge. I never really thought I would go into a sales position for a career. I'm a senior, so I'm going to be graduating May 2021 with a degree in MIS in marketing. But with marketing, I never thought sales marketing. I always thought, oh, maybe I'm going to do content or I'm going to do some kind of data analysis. But after participating in the Suit Up Sales Challenge and kind of putting myself outside my comfort zone, I've definitely been looking a lot more towards sales positions as I go into graduation. I was actually able to get a couple interviews from some sales companies that were there. So I'm currently interviewing with them now, which has been really great and eye opening. But yeah, it's definitely given me more opportunity and windows of a sales career for me that I never thought existed.
Very cool. So, what advice would you give to a student that's going to be participating in the challenge?
Yes. Okay. So, some advice I would give is definitely have some notes ready. So, I had a piece of paper, just like a regular blank white sheet of paper, with me the whole time. So, when the buyer was speaking to me, I would just write down everything that they were saying because it's really important to personalize your pitch to what their needs are. I would also say get to know the slides as well as you can. That's something I got a lot in my feedback, that maybe I needed to know the slides a little bit better. So usually you're given a set of slides and you can decide which particular slides you want to present on. So that was very helpful. And we had talked about in class which slides we think would be definitely useful, but not everyone does the same thing when they go to present. So definitely study those slides and get to know them pretty well. And the third thing I would say is really try to quantify the cost that the buyer is giving to you. Obviously, in a sales pitch, it's very important to go in with an ROI and tell them why they should accept your sale or not. So I definitely kept track of every single thing they were telling me was a problem in their company, and you have to ask them, well, how much is this costing you? So if a company is having $70,000 worth of issues and your sales pitch is only $50,000, that's it right there. The product sells itself. So definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, and what was the close like for you?
Yeah, so the first time around, the close was definitely easier. Jerry kind of prefaced us that most of the buyers are going to close as long as you give, sufficient amount of evidence that this is going to be a good sale for them. The second time, the close was definitely a lot harder, but I was very persistent that I was going to get a close. So, like I said, I had those numbers ready in the back of my pocket, and that's really what drove the sale.
Okay, great. So is there anything else you want to add to any potential student that might be participating going forward?
Yeah, so I think one thing I would say is have a little bit of confidence in yourself. I definitely didn't, and I never saw myself as being able to win something like this, especially my first time. I have zero experience in sales. I've never worked a sales job in my life, and this is my first class that is sales oriented. But as long as you work hard, you study the slides, you talk to your professor, you use your resources, it is definitely possible to win something like this, and just believe in yourself a little bit. So, yeah,
Thanks very much, Hannah. I enjoyed talking to you.
thank you so much.
Bye.